gotta be an idiot to bet on that parlay.
It's DTF or bust.
Put it on my mama's porch tomorrow.
Welcome back to the Home My Bet Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Park. Here with me, as always, the one, the only, Mac Miller. Mac, how's it going?
Rest in peace, Mac Miller. Come on. No, it's DTF. What's up, everybody?
Yeah. By the way, I do love Mac Miller. By the way, just for the record, before anyone goes in the comments and tries to cancel me for shouting out Mac Miller.
Well, we're already about to get canceled for our wing challenge, which for all you haters out there that said they were chicken nuggets, I easily could slam 30 chicken nuggets. You don't understand what we went through. For anybody who hasn't seen the video yet, Brandon, where is it?
Right now, there's a version on YouTube right now, and then our TikTok. It's on all our social media pages right now. The reel of it. We tried doing a vlog. It started getting a little messy, and stomach started to get hurt a little bit. So we're still working on that vlog editing a little bit. But man, those wings. I've ate cold chicken wings before, but god damn, I never had a problem eating chicken wings like I did that night.
Yeah, that was disgusting. I mean, it wasn't disgusting. It was so tough to eat them. Like what you people don't realize is we fucked up. We fucked up. We should have ordered them in dozens at a time or 15 at a time, but we did not. We
We
said,
just saw a deal and we went for it.
but the deal is the whole bill. So you could have got 12, 12, 12, got 36 and only paid for 18. So
I 100% would have done that.
I know, and I don't know why we didn't. We all just were so gung ho on we're getting 30, and that's what we did. We got 30 wings all
But
at
Beaton's
once.
was low-key packed when we got there.
Yeah, we weren't sure,
So,
if we were gonna be sitting around waiting for our wings.
yeah. But
I mean, Colin got his in a timely manner.
yeah, he got his. He was only what, like 3 wings behind us?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta understand though, the first half there was 17 first downs in the whole first half.
Oh, and we barely got the 17. It wasn't until we got an
Mhm.
actual good drive.
Yeah, I mean, it was halfway through the second quarter, and there was only 8 first downs, and we were just sitting there, and the wings are getting cold. So if it was 12 wings sitting there and only 4 of them were getting cold, different story.
And then the end of the second quarter comes and winter is coming.
Yeah, I mean, you go into halftime with 12 wings just sitting there, and they're ice cold. Third quarter rolls around. That first one I took a bite of, I was like, oh man, it's gonna be a long second half.
To put it in a different perspective, if you watch the reel, there are 2 different clips in that reel of me eating the same damn chicken wing because it was so hard to eat and it was so cold. It was bad. And then it got to a point where I'm like, I can't eat anymore. Like I'm not gonna eat anymore. This is like disgusting. So Corgi starts eating some of mine, and I think he like underestimated, like he thought I was just being a wuss, essentially. And he
Well,
takes a
he
bite.
polished he polished all 30 of his. His were saucy. Mine were saucier than yours. Yours looked like someone took sandpaper and took like a cheese grater and put sandpaper all over yours.
Yeah, it was definitely rough for only sweet barbecue. And so they weren't hot wings at all. It was just
Oh.
so cold and so hard. Like when we do the wing challenge again, we're doing it at one of our houses, or we're doing like you said and just ordering 15 wings, and whether we gotta play catch up or what we gotta do.
So so here's what I'm going to do. When we go to Chicago for Christmas, there's a grocery store that we get wings from. They're the best wings, like the best wings I've ever had. They're traditional, so all the haters can fuck off, but they're like this big, bone or drumstick or leg or wing, flats, whatever. I think a bucket is like 30 to 50. I'll price it out when we go. And to be honest with you, they're better rewarmed or reheated. Like I'll eat them for days on end when we get home from Chicago.
Mhm.
So just we'll just get a bucket or two of wings, bring them home from Chicago, and we'll do a Sunday afternoon or a Monday night or whatever
Yeah.
next time. Those are the best wings. And there's no sauce on them. They're just the breading, but the breading is honey or hot. And to be honest with you, they're both fucking delicious. You don't
Yeah.
even need
I would
sauce.
definitely want honey.
Honey's really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could smack like 30 of those. Um, so anyways, whatever we do, we'll make it happen. But yeah, it has to be traditional next time. But credit to us because I guarantee you the 23 you ate and the 24 that I ate of boneless chicken nugget, boneless wings, all that breading on there, we probably ate more food than we could have in wings, like but traditional wings. I think we could have easily had 35 to 40 traditional wings, but I
Yeah.
think that 35 to 40 equated the 20 to 24 boneless wings.
Well, it's more, yeah, like you said, it's more chicken.
Well,
Like
not
I
just so
don't
much
give
the
a I don't
chicken,
give a
it's the
fuck if it's like
breading.
a chicken nugget, a chicken. I don't give a fuck. Like that's more chicken. You're not having to eat around the bone and worry about cleaning the bone and shit. But hey, we'll do traditional next time for the fans.
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna do it again because we need to pass it.
Yeah.
But we have, 7 more weeks, so we have 7 weeks to get ourselves ready for it. For all the haters out there who said that we weren't actually, I was laughing so hard at the trolls who calling us women and telling us to take our tampons out, and I told them we took them out at halftime.
Yeah,
But
we should maybe revisit this either in a week 18 game or wild card.
ooh, Super Wild Card weekend would be fun.
Wild card wing challenge.
Yeah, we should do the Wild Card Wing Challenge. Wow, look it
I
up.
think that would go hard.
Perfect. We'll reevaluate week 18 to pick which game, and then
You
we'll
know
pick a
how
game.
what would really suck? I mean, I would enjoy the ever living hell out of it, but if we ate a slice of pizza every single first down,
Oh,
that would probably put us in a coma.
yeah, I could. I don't think I could do that. It took me 3 days to recover from this challenge, and that was such a pussy move. My stomach was so fucked up for 3 days. I don't know why. I mean, it could have been actually like my my internal like body with all the breading and all the
Well, you also ate chili beforehand too. Like I'm
yeah.
addicted to chili.
So sidebar, Corgi and I had a chili cook-off at work that day. Bad planning on my end. I'm the one who freaking organized the chili cook-off. I'm the one who freaking organized the wing eat-off. Bad planning on my end to plan them on the same day. You know, obviously we were planning on doing the wing challenge earlier in the season, but then we had scheduling conflicts, and then this date was kind of just like, nope, we're doing it, we're making it happen.
The lad went AFK.
Yeah. So we both had chili and then 24 wings for myself and 37 for Dave, which I still don't know how that was humanly possible. I don't know.
Dude, you're like a champ too.
He wasn't even like phased by it.
I just couldn't believe he finished my wings too, all of them.
He
Especially
wa-
after he had the first one.
well, and then he wanted four more of mine because it ended up being 41 first downs,
I give
which
him credit. He was wanting to accomplish the challenge.
I know, and he could have, and I think he could have. So we have to do it again. Super Wild Card Weekend, book it. We're doing the wing challenge, but for real this time. We're we're doing the real wing challenge. But thank you for everybody who did watch the reel, and if you haven't yet, go over to our social media, check it out. I know it's on my TikTok at GTF Nation. You posted on Hold My Bev and everything.
Yep.
Hold My Bev has it. Um, we want to do more videos like that, those fun type of reels. So I hope you guys are enjoying that as well. Honestly, that was the most fun I've had on the podcast, and it wasn't even a podcast video. I mean,
It was just guys being dudes, eating wings and watching football.
and people making fun of us, calling us pussies.
Hey, it is what it is.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, week 11.
Yeah. Week 11. Well, speaking of that game, the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Washington Commanders on Thursday Night Football during our wing challenge, 26 to 18. The Eagles really ran away with this game at the very end. Other than that, the Eagles were pretty much down this whole game. Jake Elliott didn't look like he was going to hit our leg for the parlay, but thankfully he pulled through,
Oh
considering
yeah.
he missed his first two field goal attempts and barely made his third one, like his first make. He barely made it. But this was probably the worst the Commanders' offense had looked all season. Um, could not get Terry McLaurin involved in the game whatsoever. He was on milk cartons everywhere. I started him in fantasy, got hazed by the people I was playing that I started McLaurin in, or like the leagues I started McLaurin in. Thank God I had Taysom Hill this week, so I was very happy about that. That was a very last minute waiver wire pickup.
It's funny you bring that up because I'm playing my friend or our friend Jake in our league at work, and
Mhm.
he had Taysom Hill on the bench. And do you remember him texting us saying he was supposed to start Hill, but he started Goddard?
Yeah,
And I'm like, oh, you should have started Hill because Goddard wasn't having a good game. Well, then yesterday rolls around and he scores 43 or 40 some points. I emphasized the message should have started Hill because as of right now he's up 20 points, but I still have Stroud, Mixon, and Collins playing tonight, and I'm only down 20 points, and I think he's done.
yeah. I think he's cooked.
But um, on the contrary, I had Bo Nix on my bench who put up 45 points, but I'm trusting Stroud will get at least 20.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that I hate to pray on your downfall, but I'm hoping that Mixon does not have a big night tonight. Um, anyone else can have a big night, but Mixon.
How about Collins?
Oh, I want Collins to have a big night.
I know he's back, baby. I'm so pumped to watch the game tonight.
Yeah, I want Collins to pop off, especially since I know Mixon's gonna get a touchdown. That's just a guarantee.
You would think.
But yeah, Eagles looked really good. Other than like their defense looked really good. Jalen Hurts, not the greatest passing performance. Saquon with two garbage time touchdowns. Well, I guess one of them wasn't garbage time. The other one was. 146 yards on the ground. He's just a beast. Uh, but yeah, they couldn't really get anything figured out in the passing game at all in this game. I thought Washington's
No.
secondary actually did a very good job against Jalen Hurts and the Philly receivers without Lattimore in the game too.
Yeah, I mean Devontae Smith was irrelevant the whole game.
Yeah, he had one 21 yard reception, and other than that, I mean, he only finished the game at 29 yards. So,
Hmm.
like you said, not really relevant. AJ Brown was probably the most relevant in this, 65 yards. So, still nothing crazy. Um, but yeah, Jaden Daniels just really struggled in this game. Uh, really couldn't get anything going. He did get a garbage time touchdown to Zach Ertz or Ertz. Um, But yeah, do you still believe in the Commanders though? They're 7-4 now. I think they've dropped what, two straight or three straight?
They're seven and
Two
four.
straight. Yep.
Well, problems. The problem is going to come down to there are so many stacked teams in the NFC. Um, I mean, just for example, the 49ers have a 5-5 record. Now, nine of those games, no, eight of those games are without Christian McCaffrey. So take with that what you want. I mean, Jordan Mason has been great and has been like the leading rusher this year. But I still think that even as crazy as it sounds, the 49ers have a chance to win the division and they're sitting in last place right now, um, of their division. I think that the NFC South is going to crumble. I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to somehow win the division. I'm nervous about your Falcons.
Well, my Falcons are making me nervous right now
You
at
can
the
pretty much
execution they put up this
guarantee
weekend.
you can pretty much guarantee that three teams in the NFC North is going to make the playoffs unless this somehow the Chicago Bears spoil the Packers season in Week 18. Um, but that's let's just say one, two, three, four, 5, 6,
I think two
7.
teams out of the West are going to make it.
Two teams out of the West. So let's just say San Francisco and the
Arizona.
Cardinals. But the Rams too,
I
dude.
was
The
going to
Rams.
say the Rams. I think the Rams are going to make. I don't think San Francisco's making the playoffs this year.
We'll see. I mean, their division is 1-3, so they are behind. I mean, the Rams do have the edge on them there. Um, the Rams remaining season though, or schedule, they have the 49ers and the Cardinals and the Seahawks. 3 games out of their last 7 are going to be divisional matchups. And 49ers, the rest of their season is kind of interesting. They've got Packers, Bills, Bears, Rams, Dolphins, Lions, Cardinals. So it could seriously come down to the like week 18. Like I don't think the NFC West is going to be resting anybody in week 18.
No, this division is going to be so close that no one's going to be able to rest, and I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Really,
So
the only team that's going to be able to rest any players is going to be probably Kansas City and
yeah.
Buffalo. But
So hear me out. The Buccaneers are 4-6. They have the Giants 5-6. Panthers 6-6. Raiders 7-6. Chargers 7-7. Cowboys 8-7. Panthers 9-7. But Saints 10-7. And
you think they go on
Falcons,
that big of a tear, though?
yes, absolutely I do, especially with Mike Evans back. As long as Baker has somebody other than Otten to throw to, which Otten's been amazing, I think the Buccaneers will take it. Falcons have Chargers, Vikings, Raiders, Giants, Commanders, Panthers. I I mean I still see the Falcons winning 1, 2, at least 3 more games. So they'd be 9-9
Hmm.
or 9-7. No, 9-8. But they do have 2 games over
The
the
Bucks.
Bucks. So that's
Yeah,
the tough part. So
I think the Bucks could go for a wild card spot.
I'd love that.
I
I'd
still
love if they
think
snuck in
Dallas,
at
but
7. I mean, it's going to be very tough because going back to the original question about the Commanders could have the second, not even the
here,
second
you want me
best
to read off their remaining schedule to you?
to Washington.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
Cowboys, Titans, Saints, Eagles, Falcons, Cowboys.
so beat the Cowboys, beat the Titans,
Beat the Saints.
beat the Saints, lose to the Eagles, go 0-2 against the Eagles.
But they play the Eagles at home, like at home.
Yeah, 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 I get it, but
Yeah.
either way,
Yeah.
beat the Falcons, beat the Cowboys again. You win 5 more games, that would be an automatic in the playoffs. You'd have 12 wins and 5 losses.
Yeah.
They could easily do it, but part of me thinks that they're going to lose that Week 18 game to the Cowboys. Because if they even know they're going to make a wild card, they
Hmm.
might sit their starters against the Cowboys. Because what's the point?
Yeah. I mean, if they have it locked in that early, like, yeah, go ahead and sit Jaden Daniels for a week. Let him rest up. Hopefully they can get his rib injury fixed because, I mean, or figured out at least. Because I think ever since he got that rib injury, he hasn't quite looked the same. He's still good. He's still
Yeah.
good, but I've noticed a difference in watching him play. Um,
Well,
which kind
that
of
was the
brings me into
Pan.
my next. Well, I guess we'll talk about that later in the show. I'll bring it
Okay.
back up later. Um, but yeah, I still think the Commanders are very well in it. I don't think it's panic mode, but you know, can't take games off at all yet. Uh, but let's go ahead and move into Sunday. First game on Sunday, we had the Steelers beating the Baltimore Ravens in Pittsburgh, 18-16. I knew I didn't like that spread. I knew I didn't like it, and I took Pittsburgh money line. As disgusted as I felt doing that, I just knew it was going to be the best play because essentially in this matchup, just always take the underdog between Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Just take the underdog
Mm-hmm.
because the underdog will always win in this. I'm pretty sure the underdog has won the last I forget. I want to say it was like the last 5 or 6 times. I might be wrong on that, but
This game came down to the kickers. Chris Boswell making 6 field goals, Justin Tucker missing 2, which lost them the game.
yeah. And Justin Tucker is no longer the most accurate kicker in NFL history. If he goes 3 for 3 on his next kicks, he will be back in this number one seat. Um, which in all honesty, I guess I don't want to say I hope that he does, but I mean that would be a sucky way of going out.
Yeah, I mean to have that, standard for so many years of being the best, most accurate kicker, and then possibly his last year he falls off and loses that title. Like that stinks. But at the same time, do you deserve the title if that's what it comes down to?
Yeah, especially when these guys are kicking like well into their 40s. Some of these guys.
Hmm.
Like Vinatieri, I want to say he was like what, 43, 44, if not older.
At least.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like I don't feel that bad. I mean, I don't know what happened to him that he made him fall off so bad, but
I don't know. I mean, he's only 34.
yeah, so I don't know, he might the way he's been playing this year, I wouldn't be surprised if he retired.
I mean, there's a chance.
He's got his payday. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he has like a family or anything like that, but yeah, he's fallen off a very, very steep cliff compared to the Justin Tucker we always knew. Um, but yeah, Steelers managed to squeak out with this game, not scoring a touchdown at all. I don't get it at all.
That's twice this year.
Yeah, I don't get it. Um, it just makes me mad that they keep winning games and they can't even get in the end zone, but that defense is something else, man. Like people always talk about it, but I don't think people give actually enough credit.
It's kind of disgusting.
Yeah, like Joey Porter Jr. has been playing out of this world this year. Patrick Queen's been playing awesome for them. He definitely made Baltimore regret letting him go because Roquan Smith has not looked anything like he did last year with Patrick Queen not being by his side.
Hmm.
Minka's going to be Minka. I don't like Minka. Um, did you hear about TJ Watt? They said something about this a couple weeks ago, but did you see TJ Watt, if the Steelers made the Super Bowl, he wouldn't probably be playing in it.
Why is that? Because his wife's
Pregnant.
expecting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you make it happen.
Yeah.
I think you would make it happen.
Yeah.
You don't miss the only chance to go to the Super Bowl. He's not won a playoff game since he's been a Steeler, let alone make a Super Bowl. I mean, if you have the chance, you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
That's just me though. I mean, I don't know. I'm not in that
I was
position.
gonna say that's a really hard position because I mean your first born child and your first Super Bowl. I don't know. Like I feel like selfish even giving like an answer. And it's
Yeah.
not even me. I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, because you look at the history of the Steelers with and without TJ Watt, it is significantly different with him gone.
Oh yeah, no, he's easily the leader of that team. Like there's no question about that whatsoever.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I was curious on your thoughts on that. Um, also Preston Smith has looked like an absolute steal of a trade. I can't believe the Packers let him go for a seventh round pick, but
Oh yeah.
I don't know what you're gonna get with that seventh round pick, but hey, whatever. All right. Next game we have the Detroit Lions laying the absolute pain to the Jacksonville Jaguars, 52-6. Um, the Lions, they're by far the best team in football right now. I don't
Oh,
think it's close.
they're amazing. They're putting up 7 touchdowns. I mean, it was against the Jaguars, like don't get me wrong there, but for the love of God, I mean, they just don't let off the gas. Dan
No,
Campbell is running it down their throats. Everybody that gets in their way. And I fucking love it. I mean,
it's
it
old school
is,
football, and Jared Goff is still throwing 400 yards.
and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah,
And they're all like long bombs. I mean, like the one with Jamison Williams, he cut across the field and it was like 60, 50, 60 yards.
yeah. They just play such a fun brand of football. Like I just love watching the Lions play. Watching them play and succeed the way they have this year has made me feel 10 times better. Like after the Browns, dropping an egg. Hendon Hooker's also been getting a lot of snaps this year because they've just been blowing out teams.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up another quarterback that got to play a little bit this week, so I'll remind myself. But Hooker getting some good playing time. I think it's good for his development, playing behind Jared Goff. I mean, he might have a bright future once Goff retires, or he might be good trade bait to get a
Yeah,
chance somewhere else. It kind of reminds me of, and I don't want to say it like this, but having a Jimmy Garoppolo behind Tom Brady and then getting him the exposure if Tom Brady goes down, like Deflate Gate. Not, I know that's why it's such a bad example, but
I know what you mean. I,
Jimmy ended up getting a career after playing behind Tom Brady and the Patriots. So if the Lions go on a freaking run, I mean, it could look good for everybody that's on that roster. Having that championship caliber mentality, just like anybody who's played on the Chiefs right now, or anybody who played on the Golden State Warriors at the time, you come off that roster and people look at you a little differently. I mean, look at how our coaches, I think having our coach coming from the Golden State Warriors has changed our way of playing and thinking as the Cavaliers this season, and it's gone to show as we're 15-0.
well,
But
yeah, and we're making adjustments too, where we never
sure,
used to make adjustments.
sure.
Um, Well, yeah, moving into the next game, we did have the LA Rams facing off against the New England Patriots, where the Rams won on the road 28-22. Um, Drake May, not a terrible performance, just shy of 300 yards. Looked competent at least. Did throw
He
a
looked
pick,
good.
but
He looked good.
yeah, he did throw a pick, but I mean, he's going to be a rookie quarterback. Lost a fumble as well. Um, But I like the direction that they're going in. I mean, they're obviously not going for anything playoff wise or trophy wise, but Drake May is looking competent.
I
And
think they're gonna surround him with some. I mean, I'd like to think they'd get a weapon in the draft. If not, they're gonna draft an lineman. But I mean, there's promise for this team with Drake May. I really
yeah,
do believe it. I do believe it.
yeah, no, absolutely. Matt Stafford, pretty stellar performance, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, didn't get sacked at all, 295 yards. Puka Nacua, 123 yards and a touchdown. And then Cooper Kupp, 106 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Rams are just a team that you do not want to face in the playoffs.
No, I mean
You'll maybe beat them, but they'll give you a run for your money, that's for sure.
they're the scariest team in the NFC, in my opinion, when it comes to somebody you don't want to play. I used to think it was the Buccaneers when Godwin was still playing, but I really think it's the Rams right now.
Well, the Rams have done so good at drafting too. You know how long they went without a first round pick? They didn't have a first round pick till this year since I want to say 2016.
I mean, it was a long time,
Yeah, so almost it was like what, 8 years, I think?
at least.
Yeah, that they didn't use a first round pick. And they've hit on so many different players like Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, who's finally getting some more
Yeah,
confidence, even though he was a stud in college, an absolute stud.
But Kieran Williams is a stud, and
Kobe Turner's right
when
one too. He's basically Aaron Donald's replacement.
I was nervous when I saw Blake Corum running so much in one drive because I thought that Williams got injured. And I'm like, oh shit, here we go. But no, I mean, they're finally utilizing him in a way to get him involved. And I think that he's got a bright future with the Rams. I mean, they could have a nice two-back set there. Kind of like a Tank Bigsby and Etienne. Not saying that Williams is like Etienne, but just having that strong two-back set is very important. You got to have that one-two punch.
Yeah, absolutely. Bobby Brown, which I know some people were saying that he's going to be a trade target. If I'm the Rams, I'm holding on to him for dear life. Byron Young, who's turned it around this year on the D line, he's been awesome. Braden Fisk, um, and then honestly, defensive rookie of the year, I think it's Jared Curse or Jared Verse, or is it Gerard? No, it's Jared. I've heard some people call him Gerard, but it's definitely a Jared.
You think?
From Florida State, he's been spectacular this year. So I definitely like the Rams a lot going into this postseason. Hopefully they make it. They are 5-5 now. So I'm not sure what their odds are quite, but I know they're right in their division race. So I feel like that's going to be a division only. Like whoever wins the division's making the playoffs and everyone else is out.
What do you want their odds for? Super Bowl or for the division?
Just make the playoffs.
Let's see. NFL. Do 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 do.
And then if you didn't know, we're recording this before Monday Night Football. Usually we do it about halftime of Monday Night Football. Um, we just wanted to record a little bit early today. Um, so yeah, that's just some little filler. Um, hoping that Nico Collins has a good day. That's all I know.
It's currently plus 300 for the Rams to make it, but it's also plus 300 for the Seahawks. Um, wow. A lot of these is very interesting. Um, some of these teams, there's no shot, obviously, but like, let me check what else. The 49ers is plus 200. Dolphins is somehow plus 300. Bengals is plus 350.
Bengals basically got eliminated last night, which we'll talk about at the end.
Yeah. Colts plus 190. I don't know. Eh,
The thing is that that division is still kind of up in the air. It's the Texans to lose, but
yeah.
boy,
With
it's technically still within reach.
well, I- who the Texans even lost to?
The Jets. Um, here,
Well, they haven't lost to a divisional opponent. They're 3-0 in the division.
all of them have been very close games, though.
Yeah,
I
they're
guess
fine.
I guess they have played the Colts twice. I didn't realize they already played them twice.
Yeah, and that's the only team that I'm worried about.
Yeah. Okay.
They're
I correct
fine.
my statement.
They're
I thought
fine.
they still had to play the Colts again, but they played them way back in week one.
No, but if we're gonna look at the Colts' future, I mean the Colts have the Lions, the Patriots, the Broncos, Titans, Giants, Jaguars. They
Well, that
lose.
Broncos game is going to be a playoff game. The Lions, they might as well just not show up.
Yes. Yeah, they're gonna lose to the Lions. Dude, they might lose to the Patriots. Book
If
it.
they play the way they did this week, I think they'll be fine. We might as well talk about that game now.
Book it in 2 weeks. 12-1. Patriots beat the Colts. I'm predicting it right now in
Ooh,
New England. But they're gonna lose to the Broncos. Broncos are on fucking fire right now. Bo Nix is amazing. Um, they are finally a full team. I mean, they look great. Their defense is amazing.
our
You've
offensive
got,
line is actually blocking.
yep, you've got some great receivers. They've got great running backs that they just can't figure out that running game yet. But Bo Nix is just killing it. I mean, what a game. But we'll get to that too. But anyways, They definitely lose at least two or three more games, in my opinion, and that would put them right at like 7-9
Yeah, they ain't making it. They ain't making
or
the.
eight. They'd be 8-9. They would definitely miss the playoffs. So
I think every wild card team in the AFC is gonna at minimum have 10 wins. I
who
think every AFC wild card team.
has to have at least 10? Yeah.
Yeah. It might even be 11, honestly. It's I don't
Well,
think the Dolphins have a shot. I don't think, let's see. Let me look down the list. The Broncos are gonna make it, I think.
well, that's the
They're gonna
problem.
make
I
it.
think that the AFC West will have three teams, South will have one team, North will have two teams. So that's one, two, three, four, five, six. And then the AFC East will only have one. So it'll be the Bills, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore, the Texans, and then the Chiefs, Chargers, Denver. I think that's literally how it's going to be.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a mid well, I guess it's further than mid-season, but we might have to do a prediction video um or segment on the podcast even. Maybe even before our pick'ems.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, we'll send a text out to the lads about that. So hopefully everyone can get that done. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the Colts versus Jets. Jets season done. Absolutely done. They lose to the Colts 28-27. Anthony Richardson, uh, much better game first start back after being benched. Uh, Definitely looked a lot more confident. Went 20 for 30 passing with a passing touchdown, zero picks, two rushing touchdowns. Uh, Jonathan Taylor didn't really get a whole lot going. 24 carries, 57 yards, kind of looking like Nick Chubb. Not to throw shade at Nick Chubb right now, because I'm just glad he's back. But um, he did fumble twice, actually. I did not realize he fumbled twice in this game.
Yeah.
But the Jets, they just can't catch a break, man. There's supposedly rumors that the Jets already want to move off Aaron Rodgers. Um, so I don't know how that's going to go down, or if Rodgers will play for a new team. I know there was some people joking about Aaron Rodgers going from the Jets now to the Vikings. I know
That
we
was me.
talked about it in a couple weeks ago.
That was definitely me.
Well, I've heard it on a
I
couple
know.
of shows
I
too.
know. I know.
Um, which I think that'd be hilarious because Devontae Adams, I think, is just cursed then.
Yeah.
He shows up to a new team and they take away the quarterback that he moved for every time.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, Jet season's done. They might as well just count that as, an L of a season, waste of a season. Um, I don't know what I do if I'm the Jets, though. I don't know. Like, clearly the roster that you have, like, they have talent. Like, there's no question about that. I don't know if it's coaching or, you just got to move different pieces around to different teams and try to bring in new pieces. But whatever they have out there right now is just not the answer.
No, I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, the thing about the Jets is they really, really, really sucked Aaron Rodgers' dick, getting everything he wanted, and he just did not make it happen.
Yeah, no, not,
And now they're screwed.
yeah, not at all. All right, next game we had the New Orleans Saints absolutely destroying the Cleveland Browns. This game was tied going into the fourth quarter, 14-14. Final
Taysom Hill
score,
game.
35-14.
Taysom Hill game.
Yeah, Taysom Hill went crazy, literally a jack of all trades, threw an interception, three rushing touchdowns. Uh, was surprised he didn't get a receiving touchdown, but 50 receiving yards, 138 rushing yards with the 75-yard run for a touchdown. Uh, yeah, we got burnt. We got burnt bad this game.
I can't even get into it. It's just
And
Jameis didn't even play bad.
no, he
That's the
didn't.
thing.
He didn't. Jerry Jeudy had his best game as a Cleveland Brown.
Yeah. I mean, you put up over 140 receiving yards, get a touchdown. Njoku played great.
Let
Jameis
more
looked good
got in
with
the end zone.
Jameis looked great with 400 passing yards. I mean, how do you
The defense collapsed at the end.
it was just so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's bad. Oh,
Saints go marching.
yeah, Saints go marching. Next, we have the Minnesota Vikings beating the Tennessee Titans 23-13. In this game, Sam Darnold finally looked a little bit more confident again. They couldn't get anything really going on the rushing or on the ground, but they were just overall decent throughout the whole game. Will Levis actually did not have a bad game this game.
I didn't think so either. I mean, he
Yeah,
shows flashes. That's why I think he has a shot in this league. I think that the Titans just have a lot of work to do.
yeah, they got to figure out that O line. That's for sure. Got sacked 5 times this game.
Yeah.
Threw for just shy of 300 yards.
They got the longest touchdown of the season so far.
Yeah, 98-yard touchdown. So that was pretty awesome. Um, and they stayed in this game, and it's still crazy to think that this is the number one defense in the NFL.
I don't get that.
Yeah, number one defense in the NFL, and they are, what was their record? 2-8. So make that make sense.
Well, it's just they're playing good ball in D. They're not scoring an O.
Yeah. But if you want to talk about struggling on the ground, let's talk about this next game. We had the Miami Dolphins beating the Las Vegas Raiders at 34-19. I'm just counting up how many people they had rushing the ball. The Raiders had 7 different people running with the football in the rushing.
That's I
And
wonder
their
that's
highest
gotta be
rusher was 20 yards. Jacoby
that's
Myers.
gotta be that's gotta be a record.
Yeah, they even had Brock Bowers take a rush.
Yikes.
But Brock Bowers was all over in this game. Uh, damn near has me on the edge of my seat for tonight. Um, thank God I had Taysom Hill because I'd be losing this week.
Yeah.
Um, Brock Bowers, 13 catches, 126 yards, and a touchdown. Um, absolutely went off. Gardner Minshew had a pretty Gardner Minshew game. Um, I hope the Raiders do not fire Antonio Pierce at the end of this year. I
They
actually
sh
like him as a coach.
they shouldn't fire him. You know, I think he's got a shot. I think they're just a quarterback away. I mean, having Brock Bowers is huge. I don't know what the fuck happened to Zamir White this year, coming off of a decent year last year, but Madison's been a dog for them this year, even on the receiving end. Um, I think you get Minshew out of there. You keep Aiden O'Connell as a backup. You bring in Shador if that's the plan.
Yeah, thank God. Every tweet every Sunday
Thank God.
after a Raiders loss.
Yeah. I think you do that and maybe they can get a receiver in free agency and just make a fucking move. I mean, the
The
Raiders
Dolphins
are,
go after a receiver in free agency. I mean that could definitely help depending on um you know where they end up in the draft order and everything. But
well, they're gonna get a receiver second, third, or fourth round easily. One
yeah,
of those two or one of those three.
yeah, I
But
think they have. I mean, Brock Bowers is definitely the building block on this offense, no question about it.
yep.
I definitely think they need to figure out something with the running game as well. Because Zamir White, he's in what, year 4? We didn't really know about him a whole lot until he started getting carries last year, and he had that game against the Chiefs where he went off. But
Hmm.
yeah, Brock Bowers is definitely the building block on this offense. Um, Michael Mayer, if the Raiders are smart, they get rid of him. Not for, I mean, keep him if you want, but I think you get some good draft picks for Michael Mayer because he's a good talent, and that was really what was shocking about them drafting Brock Bowers.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of having both Kincaid and Dawson Knox. I mean, I really thought Dawson Knox was a good tight end, and then they went and got Kincaid on the Bills, and they've been a good dual threat tight end. I mean, a lot of teams like the Browns, they have Njoku, and that's it. You know, he goes down and you have Akers or Akins, and I don't really care for Akins as a receiving tight end. I mean, I don't know. There's a part of me that thinks it's good to have two tight ends on the roster that are receiving tight ends, but
Oh, I do. I do too. I prefer my team to have two good tight ends. Like even Noah Gray on the Chiefs, he's pretty damn good.
I like Noah Gray, and I think the 49ers having Jawan Jennings as well as Kittle. I mean, stacked.
Yeah, they actually played Jennings as a kind of a hybrid tight end type
Oh
deal.
yeah. Yeah,
He's
he's more
he's a big boy.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I like having two tight ends, but there's so many holes that you need to fix on this team. I almost would rather get the capital to help build up those positions, but it's also you also run into the question then, like it's kind of hard to find good tight ends. If you find a good tight end, like you're gonna be a solid team
Yeah.
moving forward. It's been proven.
Mm-hmm.
I think what was the stat? There was a stat like um if you had like a top five tight end in the league, you were gonna make the conference championship guaranteed. I mean, last year we had a pretty electric matchup. We had Kittle versus Laporta, and then we had uh if I'm not mistaken, Andrews versus
Kelsey.
Kelsey.
Mm-hmm. And
I mean, Andrews was
on
hurt a lot of last year, but likely still played really
I'll
good.
say they have Isaiah Likely too, so it's a two tight end set.
Yeah.
And the Lions have Laporta, and after Laporta, I can't even tell you who their backup tight end is.
Oh, it's Brock Wright. Brock Wright. I only know that because I always see his prop for an anytime touchdown. I always just want to. I'm always tempted to take it
Yeah.
just to win some good money.
Well, I was saying in the Chiefs game last night, I was telling Gabby, I bet you any money because Noah Gray scored. I was like, I bet you any money Noah Gray was like plus 1,000 or plus 1,500 to get a touchdown. And Noah Gray somehow always does it. Like in the Super Bowl, I think I had in the last 2 years, Noah Gray anytime touchdown. I don't think it hit, but I'm like, he's the type of person that, you're going to bet on Travis Kelce to score, and then it's going to fucking be Noah Gray.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna bet on Kareem Hunt this year if they go to the Super Bowl, and it's gonna be stupid P Ryan.
Or
Like,
Pacheco. Pacheco's supposed to be coming back soon.
yeah, that sucks for me because I got Kareem Hunt in my friend group league. He's been so solid.
Well, see, the thing is, oh yeah, no, he's carried me. Other than this week, he's carried me. Um, but I think they're gonna ease Pacheco back. There's no reason to rush him back in the lineup.
Well, it's kind of scary because this upcoming week, and I'm gonna make a game time decision. I kind of have to because I have let me just pull it up really quick. So for this week, I subbed out Hunt because he's got 3 points projected, but they're playing the Panthers. I don't know that they're going to want Pacheco in against the Panthers. Why why overdo him?
Yeah, I would just pay attention to what they're doing. I probably would keep hunting personally.
Well, the problem is though it's the only running backs that I have that are not on a bye week because I have Bijan Robinson on a bye. I
Mhm.
have Tony Pollard and I'm dropping Spears. I'm trying to get Jalen Warren, so I'm hoping I pick him up on the waiver wire and Nick Chubb. So right now it stands as I pulled Hunt out for Chubb against the Steelers defense, which I don't know if I want to do that. But I also don't want to risk playing Hunt for a potential of 1 to 5 points and then Chubb for some reason go off against the Steelers. So
He always
game time just
typically does, but
Game
We're
time
also not going to
decision.
get the same. We're not going to get the same Chubb back.
I know. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it was a wasted pick on my end, but
I mean, the upside. You got to look at the upside when you make those kind of picks.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. There's not really much to talk about Miami other than Tyreek Hill did get another touchdown. Didn't
Yep.
have the greatest of games, but did get in the end zone finally again. But let's go ahead and talk about the Packers beating the Chicago Bears. Bears had the game. All they had to do is make a field goal and they get it blocked. I thought it was very interesting that, and I shouldn't be super surprised, I guess, um, that the Bears paid attention to how low of a trajectory Santos's kicks are. Because if there was when I think it was like a third down play, they tried pushing the ball forward for a closer kick, which the Packers, I think they were pretty much okay with. It sounded like because it was going to be a lot easier to block because he's going to have to kick it lower,
Hmm.
which I'm not quite sure how all that works in particular. I'm not a kicking expert. Um, like, never mind. I'll keep that comment to myself. But um, yeah. Jordan Love didn't really look that great. He's basically a guarantee anytime interception now. Um, Josh Jacobs, anytime touchdown. He's been awesome this year. Christian Watson had an awesome game as well, 150 yards. Um, and then the Bears offense did not play that bad.
No, it was a lot different than what they've been playing in the past few weeks under their former OC. So maybe something was in the air with the OC and they fixed it.
Yeah, all I know is Keenan Allen's probably been the biggest waste of anyone's draft pick this year, other than he had 1 week with 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, you
But
hate to
he's
see
up there
that.
in age, so what are you gonna do? But yeah, Packers win 20-19, sneak away with the win. All right. I know I said I had something to talk about later in the show. Now it's time during this game. Broncos beat the Atlanta Falcons 38-6. This game made me sick to my stomach because I know the Falcons are much better than 6 points, but the
But you got to
Broncos are
remember,
playing awesome.
you've got to remember that going into this game, Kirk Cousins was dealing with a wrist injury.
Yes, but they couldn't get hardly anything going with the running game. They couldn't get
No.
anything.
Where was Tyler
Algier,
Algier?
I think he was hurt.
Because he has one reception for -1 yards, and then he didn't even have a single rush. They had Jace McClellan, so yeah, he must have got injured.
Yeah. Um, Kirk had kind of a like a forgettable game. Michael Penix got some action though, and I mean didn't really do a whole lot, but this seems like it was garbage time when he got in. Uh, but Bo Nix, this is what I wanted to talk about. Bo Nix, 307 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, only got sacked once. He only rushed for 5 yards this game. But
Crazy.
point aside, Bo Nix might be the rookie of the year now, officially. I think it's
There's
time that people start talking about it more. He might be ahead of Jaden Daniels in rookie of the year.
there's a very good chance that that is true. I think that the Broncos they might have a tougher schedule than the Commanders do the rest of the season. They do have the Raiders, the Browns, the Colts, Chargers, Bengals, Chiefs. So they might not get as many wins as the Commanders could possibly walk away with. Stat wise, though, I think Bo Nix is the real deal. He's been QB, what, 3 or 4 in fantasy football this year.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
think
11th in touchdown passes too. Which let me look at Jaden Daniels. Where is he?
I picked up Bo Nix with my last pick of my work fantasy football league draft because I had Cortland Sutton earlier in the draft as like a good late round for starter. And I thought to myself, having Bo Nix is going to help me later on this season. And it has. We talked about this a few weeks ago when I started him over Stroud. I mean, it was just a business decision. And unfortunately, both Knicks and Stroud have the same bye week. So I have to pick up a third quarterback for that, which actually, now that I think about that, I might be fucked because I think I picked up Daniel Jones. I did.
Ooh.
Oh, shit. I gotta
So
drop.
this race is pretty tight, actually. I'm comparing both Bo Nix and Jane Daniels. Um, Jane Daniels is 14th in passing yards in the league right now, while Bo Nix is 15th. Um, Bo Nix is 15th in the league or 11th in the league in touchdown passes, where Jane Daniels is 22nd.
Hmm.
But Jane Daniels is fifth in QBR in the NFL compared to Bo Nix's, I want to say it was 21st. Let me double check. 21st, 21st. Yep, 21st. So this race is going to be pretty close between them. I
Yeah.
think it's going to ultimately be, you know, whoever gets the most wins, or because as it should be, this is a regular season award.
Yep.
Which kind of bothers me that they don't announce this stuff before the playoffs. But of course, they have to have something to, spice up Super Bowl weekend.
Sure.
But I think all the votes should be casted before Super Bowl weekend. Um, but yeah, Bo Nix, spectacular, and the Broncos are gonna make the playoffs and, be a pest. That defense continues to thrive every week.
Oh, absolutely.
Next, we have the Seattle Seahawks beating the San Francisco 49ers 20 to 17. Now both of these teams are tied 5-5. Geno Smith actually had a pretty horrible game other than his passes to JSN and DK Metcalf, where JSN is actually taken over basically as the wide receiver one on this team.
Hmm.
Um, I would not be surprised, and I'm not saying I think they will, but I won't be surprised if the Seahawks move off not JSN, if they move off of DK Metcalf this offseason.
Yeah. I mean, part of me wishes it would have been JSN to get him out of there. You know how I feel. I want him to go to the Texans to play with Stroud. Um, I mean, he is playing well enough that he has some high trade value right now. He could probably be for 1 to 2 first rounders. Um, DK is getting a little older, so he might be the one that they do want to get rid of and move him on to. I mean, but even Lockett's getting old, so
Yeah, DK Metcalf 26, Tyler Lockett, he's got to be
20
32.
is he 32? Yeah. So I don't know, man. The Seahawks are a fun team to watch. They got a great roster of running backs and wide receivers. I don't care for Geno Smith 100% in my eyes. Is he a starter? Probably not anywhere else. I think it just works out in that team.
Yeah,
I
and then
mean,
49ers, they're just rough right now. They're trying hard to get McCaffrey back into speed. 79 yards on the ground and then 27 through the air. I mean, I don't think he's playing bad. I mean, those aren't bad numbers. It's just, he hasn't played all year. This is his
yeah,
second week back and he's on a snap count.
yeah,
So I don't know what people expect really. Uh, I also don't think enough people have been talking about how Brock Purdy has played this year. Granted, he's fifth in passing yards, but I haven't really seen anything that's been that crazy out of him this year.
no, he's just been kind of playing under the radar.
Yeah, he's going to be due for a payday
Yeah.
at the
That
end.
that's where it's going to be tough.
Yeah, so that decision is going to be real tough on what they're going to have to do with him, whether it's going to be just franchise tagging him or what it is. I mean, shit, the franchise tag is going to be more than he's making right now, but
Hmm.
I don't know. It's a very tricky thing. Um, Debo Samuel, I'm done drafting him in any league ever again. I hate
No,
it because that Netflix show Receiver, I used to not be a big fan of Debo, but kind of got a little soft spot for him now. Um, he's getting up there in age though, too, 28 years old. I just don't think he's worth his contract anymore, especially since he can't stay on the field. Tough as hell, but can't stay on the field.
no, I never touch him. He's one of those players that's on my blacklist.
Yeah. All right. And then we had probably the most anticipated game of the week. We had the Buffalo Bills finally beating the Kansas City Chiefs 30 to 21. Uh, I thought this one was pretty predictable. Mahomes did have three touchdown passes. I can't think of many games he's had this year where he had three touchdown passes.
I think it's
Did throw two picks. Um, Noah Gray, two touchdowns. Funny enough, we were talking about that.
yep.
Um, And then really neither of these quarterbacks played that great throwing through the air, but Josh Allen at the end of the game was phenomenal.
Hmm.
As Dave said, he's a GOAT.
Just a note, that was his second three touchdown game, and the other three touchdown game was against the Buccaneers in overtime.
Yeah.
Um, yes, Josh Allen is looking like a goat, but he is kind of a baby goat right now. It's kind of the same realm of Brady was the goat, Patrick Mahomes was the baby goat. Now Mahomes is the goat, Josh Allen's the baby goat. We need to get Josh Allen a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I I am in a position where we've talked about, potential Super Bowl winners, and I think we really need to start getting serious about it. I I want to say that I think that let's see, futures to win the Super Bowl. Where's that at?
My dream matchup while you're looking that up, is gonna be the Bills
Bills.
versus the Lions.
That'd be amazing. But if you even put just $100 on the Bills to win it, it's $700 payout. I know it's not like sexy or anything. Um, it's gonna be Bills, Chiefs, or Lions. I don't see the Eagles winning it. It's one of those three.
Yeah,
It,
I think the
it
Eagles will put up a fight, but if
yeah.
someone doesn't knock out the Lions before they face the Eagles have no shot against the Lions.
The betting favorites right now are the Lions. Um, it'd be amazing though if it was Bills Lions.
Yeah, that would be my dream Super Bowl matchup. The way everything's pictured right now.
The one team that would be amazing to also see, and they are very far out right now, would be Texans. They're plus 3,000.
Texans would be really cool to see as well. I don't know if it's their year, but we still got a good amount of season to go, and you never know how some of these players are going to perform in the playoffs. Some of them that this is when they show out is the playoffs.
Yeah.
And we're getting up to that time now, my favorite time of the year. When it comes to football season, Thanksgiving, that's when it turns into go time.
Mm-hmm.
Once it's Thanksgiving, it's, every snap matters, because everyone, if you're in and if you need to hustle to get in the playoff picture. So really looking forward to the rest of the season. Um, we do have one more game to talk about, and it's Sunday Night Football, where we had the LA Chargers beating the Cincinnati Bengals 34 to 27. Uh, Bengals basically have no real chance of making the playoffs. Technically, they do, um, but for example, next week they play the Steelers. I don't see them winning that. Cowboys. They'll probably win that on Monday Night Football. Titans, I feel like it's going to be a closer game than people want to say it is, but
Hmm.
I think the Bengals, it's a 50-50 shot. I mean, if a team slips up, then they have a shot. Looking at the remainder of their schedule, I just don't see it happening.
I don't either. It'd be great, but I think it's their season's shot. Now the Chargers have been so surprising. They've won four in a row. Herbert continues to be perfect. I mean, he has one interception this whole entire season, almost 300 passing yards, two touchdowns, and he led in rushing yards with 65 over Dobbins, who ended up with two touchdowns and 56 yards. I mean, this Chargers team is scary, and I'll tell you what, it's Harbaugh.
Yeah,
It's all Jim Harbaugh.
yeah, for sure. Um, but yeah, that's week 11 right there. That's the recap for week 11. A couple things I did want to talk about before we hop off. Well, yeah, a couple things. One, did you get to watch Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson at all?
Yeah, it was the worst thing I ever watched in my life.
Yeah, it was a waste of time. Big waste of time. Uh, I thought the card before, like the women's fight, I thought that was a decent fight.
Yeah.
I could have predicted the winner on that one, but that first round, I I thought the girl that won, I thought she was gonna get knocked out the first round. She was looking rough.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how long it went that it even went to a decision.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought Netflix kind of did a pretty poor job, and I know they're planning on doing more things like this in the future, so hopefully they can get that figured out.
Yeah, I mean, they have two games on Christmas and they're going to be responsible for, um, making sure that everybody gets to watch those games.
Yeah, I have a gut feeling I'm gonna be watching more basketball than football.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a turnaround because it was mostly basketball for however many years because football just came on to Christmas Day. Was last year the first year?
Think so.
That's not like a Sunday.
Yeah.
So they're competing with that market and I don't know. I think it was a ballsy move for a new streaming service to host those two games. So we'll see if they figure out the bugs before Christmas Day.
Yeah. And then speaking of basketball, um, I just thought this was awesome news. That Inside the NBA will be back next season. I know a lot of people were saying that this was going to be the last season for it, but ESPN and ABC will have the licensing rights for Inside the NBA. So Kenny and the crew, they'll still
Mm-hmm.
be there.
They're back.
Yeah, they're back. But other than that, Dylan, is there anything else you wanted to talk about on this pod before we got off?
No, I think we got a lot of good things coming. Week 12 is going to be fun to talk about this week with the lads. Should have some exciting bonus content coming our way. Got a possible card opening video. Um, we'll definitely have to talk about the Super Wing Wild Card weekend. Um, but pretty much that's about it for now. So we'll see you guys next time. Make sure you gamble responsibly and call 1-800-GAMBLER. And if you haven't seen the video yet, head over to our social medias and check out our wing video.
Peace.